My hook was, yeah, I mean, there was for sure comfort in food, and it got to be the point where there was a comfort in the discomfort of overeating. So the minute that I would um, be so full I couldn't eat anymore, so full I had to lay down and like rest, that was when I felt satiated, right? So I kind of like trampled on all my physical cues of what an appetite is, and I still have trouble with that. I still have to take a plate of food that's portioned appropriately and go, I want to know what it feels like in my body once I've eaten this, and I want to be aware of that, right? Because I'm really not, because for so many years I ate until I couldn't eat anymore, and that's what I thought, like, okay, now I'm done. Like, another bite and I'm gonna throw up. You know, there's a great Monty Python sketch where the guy goes to the buffet and he's eating and he's getting fatter and fatter, and he eats everything, and then the waiter comes out and says, do you want a mint? And he says, no, I'm done. And he says, okay, I'll have a mint. And he eats the mint and explodes, right? Like, that was what, for me, that spoke to me, simply because that was the point where I associated with being done eating, right? When I was so full, I literally couldn't eat anymore.
America is growing, not in spirit, economy, or strength, but in size. Today, nearly 4 in 10 adults in the United States are obese, and if you widen the net to include those who are overweight, that number balloons to 74%. It's one of the most visible, deadly, and misunderstood public health issues in modern history. But obesity is not just about weight. It's about power, about inequality, and about systems, from food, healthcare, and politics to psychology and profit, that were never designed to protect the people most affected. This is not a story of bad choices. It's the story of how America got fat and why escaping it might be harder than it looks.
Is exercise important? Heart disease, cancer, diabetes. One of the things they all have in common is they can be affected by obesity. The first recorded heart attack in this country was in 1896. In 1896 in this country, you had to get exercise to go to the bathroom. Everybody lived on farms. But we got smart. We started building machines to help us get our work done. We moved to the cities and started pushing buttons for a living, and pushing the wrong button could really create a lot of stress. And we started noticing that people were starting to die from clogging the arteries. By the Korean War, half the soldiers averaging 19 years of age killed during that war showed significant blockage of coronary arteries. 1956, the Eisenhower administration had a big meeting in Washington, D.C. The military was noticing something funny starting to happen. It was becoming increasingly difficult to find young American men who could pass the induction physicals for the military. They wanted to figure out who to blame. What's the problem?
Let's go back a few decades. In 1960, the average American male weighed 166 pounds. By 2020, that number had climbed to 200 pounds. The average woman went from 140 pounds to 171. This didn't happen because Americans suddenly became lazier or greedier. It happened because the world around them changed, and fast. Supermarkets became mega chains. Fast food restaurants replaced diners and delis. Soda became cheaper than water. And television, followed by smartphones, ensured we could consume both media and meals without ever moving. At the same time, portion sizes more than doubled. A standard burger meal in 1980 looks like a child's toy compared to today's supersized norms. In just one generation, what we eat, how we eat, and how much we eat has been completely reprogrammed. But that's just the surface. Behind every salty snack or sugary soda is an army of scientists. Food isn't just cooked anymore, it's engineered. Corporations use labs, focus groups, and brain scans to find the exact combinations of sugar, fat, and salt that make you crave more and stop feeling full. This is what they call the bliss point. The moment your brain lights up and says, yes, more of that. It's not accidental, it's profitable. Companies don't make money when you eat enough. They profit when you can't stop. And that's exactly what's happening. Today, the average American consumes over 3,600 calories a day, about 1,000 more than in the 1960s. Food addiction is real, and millions are trapped in it without knowing.
So here in the South Bronx, this is the lowest income county in New York State. We have the highest rates of obesity. And this map is showing in the neighborhood we're in now, more than 30% of the people being obese. Very high prevalence of diabetes. Just a short distance away here in Manhattan, the Upper East Side, where it's the highest income neighborhood in the city, we have very low prevalence of obesity, very low prevalence of diabetes.
Here's something the fitness influencers and billion-dollar diet industries often ignore. Obesity in America is deeply tied to poverty. If you live in a wealthy neighborhood, you probably have access to fresh groceries, gyms, and health education. But if you live in a low-income or inner-city community, you might find more liquor stores and fried chicken joints than actual supermarkets. These are called food deserts, places where healthy food is hard to find and expensive when it is. Let's be real. $1 can buy a cheeseburger, but not a salad. Processed foods, heavy in carbs and fat, are often the cheapest option for families struggling to get by.
The most that we have is like Chinese, McDonald's, KFC.
With all the burger joints and deals and 99-cent this, and it's 99-cent everywhere.
If I had $3, you go buy 2 burgers for 99 cents each and a soda. For us, it's more accessible to go to the fast food.
I got a family of 5 kids, and it's hard to just do it on the cheap food, you know?
There's limited resources. I'm gonna pick what I can afford to feed my family.
Poor Americans, especially in Black, Latino, and Native communities, are targeted by unhealthy food advertising and have the fewest resources to fight back. They're not just eating badly. They're being sold a toxic diet that fits their paycheck but wrecks their health. Obesity isn't just about looking different. It's about feeling different, about dying earlier.
Just because I'm fat, that doesn't invalidate the things that I say.
She died.
You ready to get supersized?
She died too.
Today I've got the big Fruit Loop.
He's dead.
Join me on my Fat Positive radio show,
which didn't last long because she died.
This condition increases the risk of heart disease, diabetes, stroke, kidney failure, sleep apnea, arthritis, and multiple cancers. It's estimated that obesity causes over 300,000 preventable deaths every year in the United States alone. And the economic cost? Around $173 billion annually in medical expenses, lost productivity, and insurance burdens. That's not just affecting individuals, it's draining the entire healthcare system. But here's what hurts the most. For the first time in U.S. history, children today are expected to live shorter lives than their parents, mostly because of obesity-related diseases. If you think this sounds like the tobacco crisis all over again, you're right. Just like Big Tobacco once denied that cigarettes were addictive, Big Food, the corporations behind your favorite snacks, cereals, sodas, and frozen meals, downplay the damage they cause while spending millions on misleading science.
The Global Energy Balance Network. They're scientists trying to create a buzz, using whatever it takes to challenge the conventional beliefs around the science of obesity. And here's the scientific director talking about what he says are mistaken assumptions about the cause of obesity.
So they're eating too much, blaming fast food, blaming sugary drinks, and so on. And there's really virtually no compelling evidence that in fact is the cause.
Steve Blair gets research funding from Coke. And using Coke's money, he created the Global Energy Balance Network to promote the concept of energy balance in the media and in the research community. But the industry funding was not disclosed on the website until a challenge by Canadian obesity expert Dr. Yanni Friedhoff, who tipped off the New York Times.
In 2015, Coca-Cola secretly funded a group of researchers to promote the idea that exercise, not sugar, was the key to weight control. It's the classic deflection. Blame the consumer, not the product. Meanwhile, these companies spend billions marketing junk food to children, especially during Saturday morning cartoons and YouTube content. It's not education, it's grooming. A child sees a fast food logo as early as age 2 and builds brand loyalty before they know what broccoli is. Obesity also carries a social cost, one we rarely talk about. People who are overweight face constant stigma, mockery, and judgment, often from the very systems that are supposed to help them: schools, doctors, media. This leads to shame, which often leads to emotional eating, which leads to more weight gain and more shame. It's a vicious, punishing loop. Worse yet, Many people with obesity also suffer from depression, anxiety, trauma, or abuse, issues that are rarely addressed by diets or fitness routines. The emotional weight is often heavier than the physical one. It's tempting to say, eat less, move more. But that advice ignores how deeply obesity is connected to policy and politics. The U.S. government subsidizes crops like corn and soy, which are used to make high-fructose corn syrup and cheap oils found in junk food. Far more than it supports fruits or vegetables. That means the very system designed to nourish citizens incentivizes the foods that make them sick. Food lobbyists spend millions to block regulation, delay warning labels, and keep junk food in schools. Lawmakers, overwhelmed by corporate money, rarely push back. The result? A nation slowly being poisoned, legally. There's no silver bullet for obesity. It's not just a diet issue, and it won't be solved with 30-day challenges. What we need is a national transformation, starting with better education around food and health, affordable access to healthy meals, especially in low-income areas, marketing restrictions for junk food aimed at children, real food labeling, with clear warnings like we have on cigarettes, and policies that put people before profits. We need to stop treating obesity as a personal flaw and start recognizing it as a symptom of a society that has lost its way. Obesity is not a punchline. It's not a lazy choice. It's not a meme. It's a crisis, created by corporations, worsened by policy, and suffered in silence by millions. Until we stop blaming individuals and start dismantling the broken systems that trap them, the weight of this problem will keep crushing generations to come. Because America isn't just eating too much, it's being eaten alive. And no, I am not fat.